things can't be rushed. They take years to understand, decades to truly master. Whether it's a bottle meant to be opened 20 years from now, or a suit made to be worn for a lifetime, true quality is built slowly. This isn't just about what we consume, it's about how we choose, how we learn.
It's been always our belief that the more you know about a wine, how it's made, where it's grown, the more information you have about a wine, I think you will enjoy it a lot better.
And why craftsmanship still matters in a world that moves too fast.
We don't follow trend. Yeah. We have same interests. Yeah. And we have the same dream, which is quality products, well-crafted things.
In this episode, we step into two worlds, wine and tailoring. And we meet the trailblazers who dedicate their lives to preserving tradition, pushing standards, and getting it right every single time. I'm Charles Tew, and this is Beyond the Game.
We're here today in Premium Wine Exchange, and with me is none other than my very good friend, the Berg Nut, and a partner of Premium Wine Exchange, Jojo Madrid. Jojo, welcome. Thanks for agreeing to join me on the show.
Pleasure, always. With you, Charles, anytime.
It's rare for me to get to sit down with you like this. I mean, we drink a lot together, but now I get to pick your brain. What actually got you into wine?
Well, I started drinking wine about 30 years ago. I was actually a stockbroker, and a lot of my institutional clients and the brokerage were people based in Hong Kong, the UK, Singapore, and many of them were very much already steeped into wine. And for me to be able to establish a very good relationship with them, I felt that I had to sort of get into what they were into. And so I started my wine journey sometime in the mid to late 1990s.
And your collection right now is massive. I've seen, thousands of bottles. But what kind of made you decide, like, hey, I really want to collect?
Yeah, I don't consider myself necessarily a collector, but the reason why I set wines aside is because wines of those wines that are high caliber, that are age-worthy, need to be set aside and stored and cellared for 20 some, maybe 25 years, because they express a different they have a different expression when they have been aged for quite a long time. But that said, I also drink very young wines.
Okay. But what's the one bottle that maybe changed the way you think about wine, if there is any?
Quite a few. I would say one of the very first would have been a 1995 Sartoria, which I drank the evening of September 11, 2001. So that made things even more memorable. And I've had a few epiphany bottles from a restaurant in Paris called La Tour d'Argent. What comes to mind is a 1982 Rousseau Claude de Bez. And more recently, a Henri Jayer 1990 Bourgogne, which I drank sometime earlier this year in Singapore.
Wow.
So yes, it keeps on going. You come across some amazing bottles, even in this later stage of my wine journey.
But do you feel that your palate has changed? Throughout the years, like, I know you're a big Burgundy guy right now, but like, is it something that's normal for people? Like, their palate just evolves and they start having different preferences?
I think that's largely true, based on my experience, and based on the experiences of some of my wine collector friends who've been drinking wine for quite some time. You always start off with more concentrated, fuller-bodied reds. You like to start out with, some Australian Shiraz or Napa Cabernet Sauvignon. And then over time, you start appreciating more and more the lighter styled wines. In my particular case, I've been enjoying my champagnes, I'm enjoying my white and red Burgundies, which are wines with, that are finer and more elegant. And I also like to geek out over Burgundy because it's a very complex region. And I've been traveling to Burgundy for 15, 17 years, and every time I do a visit to Burgundy, I learn something new.
These glasses, they actually really make a difference.
Yes, they do. These glasses, we just picked this up in our most recent trip to Champagne. We went to a champagne producer named Domaine Barash, and he actually designed this bottle, which accentuates the bubbles in a very sort of fine way. It's what's quite interesting here is the very bottom was sandblasted, and which is what creates the bubbles to rise, and it's aesthetically quite nice to look at, seeing fine bubbles rising from the bottom up. And when you bring it close to your nose, you can actually pick up some of those aromas.
It's something that always fascinates me. I want to try to learn to describe the wines.
Offhand, I pick up some peach, strawberries, and a little bit of orange rind, perhaps. And what you would pick up in a fairly young champagne, you can pick up some brioche as well.
And isn't that the beauty of wine? You get so much different flavors all packed into one.
And I've not even drank it, so
just by
let's
smelling
start right here.
Okay, how about on the palate?
What the indications you get on the nose should really also be echoed in the palate. And this is a champagne by Charles Heatsick, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
It's a rosé, as you can tell by the color. And it's a multi-vintage rosé, and it is, I wouldn't say it's an entry-level champagne at all, but this is a champagne that would go very well with, it's with all kinds of food.
How about we do a little bit of a blind tasting? So let's call on Jaime, your partner. We shall see.
Can I have a piece of white paper?
Oh,
And boil it.
serious.
Thank you, Jaime.
Okay, I think I can guess the region, but I don't know. Actually, no. Or the grape? No. I'll let you guess. I'm the one asking questions, right?
Well, I asked for a white piece of paper so I can hold the glass against a white background to give me an indication of what the grape might be. And it's still quite, I see it's a very pale ruby. And, when you describe a red wine, it's either ruby or garnet. And I look here, it's a fairly pale ruby, which shows that the wine is quite young, because I don't see any sort of browning along the edge. And the color is still there's a lot of intensity in the color. And it's fairly light. So I'm going to rule out a few wines, a few grapes. I'm going to rule out Syrah, Shiraz, Cabernet Sauvignon, maybe even Merlot, which kind of leaves me with...
Pinot? It's a Pinot?
I think it's a Pinot. I'm getting there. It's sort of like fresh, and I pick up strawberries and
That's what I'm getting.
cherries and raspberries. The color is consistent with the color of a young Pinot Noir. Let's taste it.
Well, you kind of ruled out every possible grape.
Yeah. So I would agree with you. It's a Pinot Noir, probably So when it's a Pinot Noir, it could come from either the United States, or which would be Sonoma, or Oregon, or it can come from Burgundy. So sometimes Jaime likes to throw some curveballs at me, so it potentially could be. I'm trying to decide whether it's from a New World or the Old World. I don't find it ripe enough to be a New World, so I'm going to stick with the Old World. So that would be Burgundy.
Okay, let's
and
ask.
Maybe something at 2022 or 2023.
Jojo Madrid's fascination with wine began in 1997. In the early 2000s, he co-founded Premium Wine Exchange, now one of the country's most trusted importers of Burgundy, Champagne, and premium wines. Known for both his expertise and his commitment to education, Jojo Madrid continues to guide wine enthusiasts and professionals alike.
What led you to start this? I mean, tell us about your store and what makes it special.
Well, I started this store in 2003 with 3 other very good friends, like-minded wine friends. We're 22 years now, 22 years old, and we started out as a kind of like a passion project, a hobby, but probably I'd say in the last 5 or 6 years it's turned out to be a real business. So it's a business that Jaime and I take very seriously, and we're very passionate about what we do here, and it's been great so far.
And what are you mostly focusing on? 'Cause I know there are other wine distributors, but I mean, your bottles kind of stand out. And I mean, is there like a direction that you guys are heading towards?
We are by no means we're the largest wine importer. We're medium in size, but we focus on French wine, and specifically we focus on Champagne and Burgundy.
Okay. What I like about your store is the fact, or you yourself, that it's not just that you're pushing your own wine. It seems like you're trying to elevate the whole wine scene. And I know you recently have been giving classes out, trying to educate people. I mean, why is that? And what are you trying to teach?
It's been always our belief that the more you know about a wine, how it's made, where it's grown, the more information you have about a wine, I think you will enjoy it a lot better. And our wine culture in the Philippines is still fairly nascent. It's still fairly young, and there's a lot of potential for it to grow. And I think we see it as our role. It's not about pushing sales or increasing sales so much, but to educate our customers on wine. And we feel that we have. I mean, we're not the only ones that do this. We are certainly amongst the few that really put a lot of emphasis on wine education.
Even your staff, they're also well trained. They know how to pour, they know how to taste.
They are definitely very well versed. Many of our staff are WSET level 3.
Wow.
One of them is actually studying. He's taking his French wine scholar certification. We all pretty much have a very solid background on wine.
For people who are just kind of getting into wine, or I would say, not as well versed yet with wine, like what are some bottles or producers that they should look out for?
I would advise someone who's starting their wine journey to start out with a modestly priced wine. Here in Premium Wine Exchange, we don't upsell.
Yeah.
We generally like to get people started, at the 2,000. I don't want to talk prices, but maybe 2,000, 3,000 peso level. And I think at those price points, you could find something really quite delicious. So it's barely 4 years old, like I wouldn't consider opening this for another 20 years or so.
Wow. Isn't that a challenge though, when you want to drink all these wines, but the great wines you kind of have to keep, or is it better
Which is why people have cellars, right? This is why I set aside wines every year and cellar, because
and then when you buy a lot of bottles, you can try to see the evolution, right? If you drink it like after 5 years, and
yes, you can, and that's part of the fun, and that's part of the journey as well. And these wines will age very, very gracefully.
In wine, time reveals character. It rewards patience, precision, and respect for the process. And it's a philosophy that extends far beyond the glass.
we're here today in the flagship store of Signet, my personal favorite and go-to store for everything a gentleman needs. They perfectly curate everything from suits to shirts to pants to shoes to accessories, you name it. Now let's take a look at this shop and I'll give you a bit of a tour.
Step inside Signet, a destination where craftsmanship meets style. Here, every suit, shoe, and accessory is carefully curated from the world's finest ateliers, each piece chosen for its quality, precision, and timeless elegance.
We offer products that we believe in. Yeah, most of our products are from US, UK, France, Italy, Japan. We believe in dressing appropriately, in certain occasions.
It's a place where bespoke tailoring isn't just a service, it's an experience. Every detail is considered, every stitch tells a story, and every visit reflects quiet luxury at its finest.
We have same interest, and we have the same theme. We offer products that we believe in,
And among the Atelier Signet champions, one stands out for its deep Neapolitan tradition and unparalleled bespoke tailoring. Sartoria Dalcuore.
So we are so fortunate today to actually be in the trunk show of Sartoria Dalcuore, and with me is none other than their owner, Cristina Dalcuore. Cristina, thank you for
Grazie.
agreeing to join me. I want to ask though, what makes your suits different, or what makes it special?
Allora, la nostra sartoria, fondata poi nel 1965 da mio padre, Luigi Dalcuore, cerca di rispettare sempre la tradizione, questa è la nostra forza, la tradizione della sartoria napoletana, che è una tradizione che si tramanda da generazioni, però con una visione anche contemporanea, e in effetti ciò che rende speciale è cerchiamo di rendere l'uomo classico più audace, più energico, più audace, ma nello stesso tempo rilassato. E questa è la cosa più importante.
And how did you get into this? Like, how early did you start? What made you get into tailoring?
Allora, io ho iniziato, come dicevo prima, ho iniziato sempre avendo vissuto accanto a mio padre, e quindi volendo continuare per la sua sartoria e quindi tramandare la sua passione, ho trasformato quello che io pensavo di fare inizialmente, che ho studiato architettura, in questo. E lo amo terribilmente questo lavoro, quindi sono felicissima di aver fatto questa scelta.
Sartoria Dalcuore was built on the vision of Gigi Dalcuore, a master of Neapolitan tailoring whose skill and artistry set the standard for generations. Today, Cristina carries forward his legacy, adding her own contemporary touch to a tradition of bespoke excellence.
How challenging is it though for you taking over for your father?
Da bambina ho sempre vissuto nella sua sartoria, quindi ho sempre assaporato, visto i suoi gesti, quindi quando tagliava, quando cuciva, quando misurava. Questo è stato un insegnamento silenzioso per me, ma allo stesso tempo fondamentale, fino al punto poi di voler trasformare questo fascino, quindi questa fascinazione, con grande passione nella mia scelta di vita. E così, dopo tanti errori, quindi ho imparato inizialmente da sola, poi dopo aver costruito da sola ed aver fatto delle domande, è intervenuto lui spiegandomi la sua visione. E è così che poi ho scelto di fare questo e lo faccio veramente con passione.
How hard is being a woman in this industry?
Sì, è stato difficile perché è un mondo dominato soprattutto dall'uomo, quindi è un mondo maschile. Però la cosa che è un punto di forza, che la donna ha una sensibilità diversa, ha una sensibilità maggiore, quindi nell'ascoltare anche le piccole sfumature diventano un punto di forza per me, quindi alla fine è stato difficile ma non le ha fatto più. Ora per me è tranquillo.
Can you tell me your process of how hard it is or what you do to make a suit, the whole process of making one?
Allora, tutto inizia dall'incontro con il cliente, quindi conoscere il cliente, chiacchierare con il cliente, cercare di capire la sua personalità, e da lì iniziamo poi con la scelta dei tessuti, quindi la presa misure. Dopo viene realizzato il cartamodello del cliente. Dopo il cartamodello del cliente seguono altre 2 prove dei fitting, quindi intermedi, in cui ancora di più si aggiustano secondo il corpo e secondo le necessità, secondo lo stile del cliente, il capo, fino alla finitura. È un processo quindi molto lento, dove tutto, come appunto, è realizzato tutto a mano, e da qui poi nasce l'abito o la giacca.
I don't know if you remember, but you actually made this suit for me 5 years ago. It's my wedding suit, and I wanted to ask you, I never actually got the chance to. I love it, by the way, but tell me about this suit, like the material, everything, like what makes this great.
Questo abito è una lana mohair, è un tessuto che io amo tantissimo, perché è un tessuto scattante, quindi è un classico, però dà un certo carattere, originalità all'abito. È leggermente luminoso, ma allo stesso tempo è matto, è un tessuto che non si maltratta, rimane sempre rigido. Questo tra l'altro è di un peso non eccessivamente pesante, quindi non è molto rigido. Pur avendo queste caratteristiche riesce ad essere morbido. E nulla, è un abito, questo seguito secondo lo schema classico di Dalcuore, una spalla che accompagna, non è molto estesa, però non è troppo, è una spalla che accompagna il tuo corpo, il rever ha la giusta larghezza, proporzionato al tuo petto, al tuo torace, e nulla.
Well, it is beautiful.
Ed è un abito appunto di 5 anni fa, ma lo porti ancora, lo porterai anche fra 15 anni o fra 20.
How big is the difference between a bespoke and a made-to-measure suit, or why is bespoke better, I guess?
Allora, la differenza è che con il bespoke io taglio il cartamodello proprio per te, per il tuo corpo. Dopo questa fase seguono le fasi intermedie di fitting, e ad ogni fitting la giacca viene riscucita per apportare le modifiche, per poi essere ricucita, completata in alcune parti e poi riscucita dopo aver provato, quindi è molto una seconda pelle. È una seconda pelle ed proprio accompagna il tuo corpo in tutto. Mentre invece il made to measure è diverso perché provi un abito in taglia, secondo la tua taglia, e poi da lì io apporto le modifiche, ma il taglio viene tagliato su un cartamodello, quindi in taglia, e con le opportune modifiche di lunghezza, larghezza e qualche altra cosa, e l'abito viene completamente finito, senza fare appunto i fitting.
Okay.
Anche se entrambi noi li realizziamo comunque sempre fatti a mano, anche il made to measure and handmade, everything.
I'm gonna get myself measured now, huh?
Hi Charles, this is Damiano, my husband.
I will
Yeah.
decide. We'll think about it. I'll
Okay.
let you know.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Excellence cannot be rushed. True mastery is shaped over years of dedication. Jojo Madrid, Cristina Dalcuore, and Signet share the same pursuit, a devotion to craft, an eye for detail, and a commitment to creating something that lasts. A suit that fits like a second skin, a wine that only reveals its complexity with time. In every endeavor, patience and dedication transform skill into artistry, and tradition into something timeless. This is precision. This is care. This is craftsmanship at its finest. I'm Charles Tew. Join us again next week as we learn the winning strategies and champion mindset of winners, movers, and shakers. This is Beyond the Game.